Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and we got some breaking news here. The Las Vegas Raiders are re-signing John Jenkins, man. I'll tell you what, Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce, they had a plan and set. And I love when a good plan is executed. If y'all don't click the like button on the Raiders bringing back John Jenkins, then that just shows to me that you didn't pay attention a lot last season. This is going to be one of those moves like we talked about Adam Butler when the Raiders ended up signing him earlier today. Going out and getting John Jenkins is going to be one of those moves yet again that it is just solidifying where the Raiders are putting a lot of their concentration. They're putting their concentration in on the trenches and trying to build like a really awesome, just like close team, close-knit group. Like this is going to be a really, really awesome signing here. So this is why you subscribe to the Raiders Report, right? All day and night, Chuck and I, we've been cleaning up. We've been getting the house together. And as soon as he found out that the breaking news was going to happen, he's like, he knew exactly where to go. He's like, all right, man, I got to give my 2 cents here for the nation. But the reason why this is a really good move and the reason why that I'm so excited is because of you're bringing back somebody probably coming off one of the best years of his career. I get it, he's 34 years old. But on today's show, I'm going to tell you why it's such a good fit. I'm going to tell you why I'm just as hyped up as I am. And we're going to get into all the stats, all the numbers, and what you can expect this year. What does it mean for maybe some of the younger defensive tackles on this roster? Because low-key, Raiders might have the best defensive line in the National Football League. If you guys haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you're staying up to date on all things going on around the Las Vegas Raiders. Usually it's Jeremy Chuggs and I. Today, it's Chuck and I. We're going to be breaking it down for you guys here today. But seriously, hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications, especially this time of the year, because it's going to be up and popping. And you know what? We'll talk a little bit more about the Justin Fields trade at the end of today's show. All right, so let's get into Jenkins. And the reason why that I love the signing here of Jenkins is last season, he proved to be a really, really solid player for this team. 61 tackles, which is outstanding for a defensive tackle. Only had 1 sack, but again, he's somebody that is just going to be eating up the middle of the field here. And considering the fact that he is as old as what he is, it is a rotational piece. Like I'm expecting right now, well, you got Christian Wilkins, you got Adam Butler, and then you also can mix in there with John Jenkins. And Jenkins really stepped up big time for the Raiders last season. Like Las Vegas was relying on Byron Young, maybe a Nesta Jade Silvera, a Matthew Butler. And I mean, let's just face it. Those guys did not contribute. So with the Raiders deciding to move on from Jerry Tillery, you bring back John Jenkins on a 1-year, $3.25 million deal, and it's a slam dunk for me. And to me, I look at that value, that's an A grade. For how good he played last season and for how much I expect this year, you can just see yet again that the Raiders are doing a really, really solid job. So what I want to know down below is I want you to grade the signing of John Jenkins. A, B, C, D, or F. I already told you it's an A, but I don't want you to just put an A because that's my grade. Coming up after this YouTube ad break, I'm going to tell you why I am giving this an A grade for the silver and black. The reason why I'm going to give it an A grade, one, not only is he coming off a career year, which he absolutely is, and every single metric that you look at totally personifies that. His PFF grade, 61.2 overall, 66.7 pass rush grade, run defense grade of 55.6, which I don't know if I 100% agree with because Jenkins last season is 19th in the NFL and is like win, run, stop rate. He's a big guy on the interior. You're going to have that great rotation between, like I said, Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, and you're also going to have that rotation with John Jenkins, and that's going to be a lot of fresh legs in there. You know, when Wilkins needs a breather, all right, we're going to bring in John Jenkins. All right, Jenkins now going to be coming back out because both Adam Butler and Wilkins are up there. All right, like Jenkins is going to be the dude that comes in times and can just be that solidifier on the defensive tackle front. I also love it because camaraderie, relationship, and it makes me wonder if Rob Leonard, who, by the way, Rob Leonard coached Christian Wilkins, Adam Butler, and John Jenkins all together. They were all three together in Miami at one time. And I almost wonder if Wilkins was like, hey, let's run it back one more time here for the silver and black, right? Like, I think when you had players that are all together, that's going to be a really good locker room. Then on top of that, some of those guys have some experience with Patrick Graham. And at Jenkins, at the age that he's at, you keep signing him to 1-year deals. And if he keeps going out there and proving it time and time again, I think this is a phenomenal move by the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm not afraid to say it. I said it on Twitter. I said it on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. To me, right now, the Raiders have the best defensive line in the National Football League. I'll say, and if it's not the best, definitely top 3. No doubt top 5. What Patrick Graham, Antonio Pierce are building here on the defensive side of the football. I know there's a lot of people that are worried about QB. I know there's a lot of people worried about running back losing Jacobs, what the offensive line is going to look like. The defense is going to be legit. It's going to be a top 5 defense in the National Football League. And if you are the believer that defense wins championships, well, then get ready, because this defense is going to be competing, and they're going to be going balls to the wall. I just hope that we can find a quarterback that can, kind of put this together. So next thing that I'm going to talk about here is some winners and losers, because winners are Raider Nation. Some of the losers and some people here on this defensive tackle room for the Silver and Black, you're going to get put on notice. Like Byron Young, get put on notice. Matthew Butler, get put on notice. Nesta Jade Silvera, get put on notice. Marquand McCall. Not all of these defensive tackles are going to be able to make this roster. Like, I know for a fact that Wilkins, Butler, John Jenkins are going to be locks to make that team. What happens if they put Tyree Wilson at defensive tackle? Let's just say they consider him a DT. Now, they might still list him as an edge, and that's fine. They're going to list him as a defensive end, and you're going to see him now rotate between Malcolm Kuntz. They're going to have a lot of bodies there on the interior. But you're going to see some defensive tackles that might have thought that they were going to make this team, no longer making the team. The other big takeaway that I have from this is I don't see the Raiders drafting a defensive tackle anymore. Like, crumble up all your defensive tackle hopes and dreams and throw them out the window. To me, I don't see why they would go out and draft a DT early on unless somebody like a Byron Murphy or Jerzon Newton were to slide down to like pick 44 or something like that. But to me, this just goes to show where they're putting their concentration, and they're trying to build in the trenches, and they're trying to get some people that are really close together. The final thing that I'll throw in here is the Justin Fields trade. I broke it down a little bit on social media already. The fact that Fields was traded for a conditional 6th-round pick in 2025, and it can be up to a 4th-round pick, I do think kind of shows you the value that some teams thought of Fields. I'll also say it was just he was a yard sale, right? Like, you're not going to get a lot of value for a player that you knew was on the yard sale just simply because, let's face it here, they knew that they were going to move on from him, so therefore the value ended up going down. But the fact that you were able to get John Jenkins, Adam Butler back, you add that to the mix here with Christian Wilkins, this Raiders defensive line is starting to turn out to be a very, very strong point for them. And I just can't wait to see what this entire regime ends up doing for the remainder of free agency. Now, if you guys haven't already, if you made it this far in the video, I know y'all are real ones. I know that some of y'all probably want me to go live today. I've been kind of hanging back today. I've had to take care of a few things around the house. I had to take care of my man Chuck here as well, since I've been working a lot over the past few with free agency. But hey, I know some people are looking for these big slam dunk splash moves, but sometimes you got to build these type of moves with John Jenkins, with an Adam Butler. Those are fundamental pieces that really, really help a team not only just get to the playoffs, but make those deep playoff runs. You got to have depth. And the Raiders are building a lot of awesome depth here. John Jenkins, it's great to freaking have you back here. And can I get a Raiders? Let's go. Raiders making a lot of moves today, and I am, as you can tell, freaking hyped. If you're looking for more videos around the Silver and Black, click that subscribe button right here. I'm going to keep you guys up to date. If you want even more videos, man, I got you covered. We got a bunch of content right over here in this corner. I got a lot more content as well over in this corner as well. Bottom line is, watch the show for a week, and if you don't learn anything, you can unsubscribe. It's 100% free, so make sure you guys click that subscribe button.